Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice for radio. So today, it's time to talk about Exploud. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Exploud is making a comeback in the upcoming Celestial Storm expansion of the Pokemon trading card game. So it's only fair that we sit and take a look, because this one could be pretty gosh darn interesting. Before we get going on Exploud, I must show you the artwork of, well, one of the two Whismers in the set. Look at it, look at it, look at the cute little Beware. He just wants to be Whismer's friend. Grow up, Whismer. Beware's trying to be your friend. As a side note, there is a 70 HP Whismer in the set with horrible, terrible, disgusting artwork, which people will probably play instead if they play Exploud, and that makes me a very sad wassy. So going on to Exploud then, you got 150 HP, which is ever so slightly lower than the 160 we would generally expect from Stage 2s in the Sun and Moon era. It's got a retreat cost of 4, which is absolutely huge and not much fun at all, and it's got a weakness to fighting, which we don't like, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I know 150 HP is quite high, but Boswell's a thing. And Boswell does 30 with nothing else, just 30. Then you add a strong energy, and it goes up to 50. And then you add a Diancie Prism Star, and it goes up to 70. And then all of a sudden, you're being hit for 140. That's if they've got a strong energy Diancie Prism Star. You add a Regirock. Now, of course, Regirock and strong energy are only pre-rotation. Then all of a sudden, you've got a KO there. And also, if you were to take away that strong energy and add a beast energy, which will be staying around after rotation, and then all of a sudden you've got a one-hit KO for a single energy. To put it another way, Beast Energy Diancie Prism Star will get a one-hit KO on a fully evolved Stage 2 Exploud. That's not particularly exciting. And then, of course, you're a colorless Pokemon, which means you do get double colorless energy, and you do get to put it into any deck whatsoever. Yay! But you're hitting nothing for weakness. And you're not getting those extra little tricks like Brooklet Hill for water Pokemon. No, ladies and gentlemen, the basics for Exploud are looking pretty gosh darn bad. So why are we looking at this card at all, except for the whole adorable Beware-focused artwork? Well, it's for the fairly garishly titled Death Live. Does 80 damage for free energy. It's not great. You can use double colorless energy, which is quite nice, but it's just double colorless energy. Still free energy, unfortunately. Oh no, wait! It also does 30 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that already have damage counters on them. I mean, it says don't apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon, but it's a colorless Pokemon. So you're not applying weakness and resistance anyway. Now, there's a little bit to unpack here, but this is actually fairly interesting. Now, 80 damage as a start isn't particularly impressive. The good news is your basics like Zorua, or even your, slightly bulkier ones like Grubbin, will be going down here, and your evolving stage ones like Curlier, you can be, or even Frogadier, you can be expecting to get a one-hit KO here. That's the good news. The bad news is that any basic that doesn't evolve, don't expect lots. I mean, okay, stuff like Kecleon will, but that's because they're really quite wussy Pokemon. Your standard bigger basics, your GXs, your non-evolving stage 1s, any stage 2s, etc., etc., you're not getting even that close to KOing them here. I mean, if you take something like a Tapu Koko, for instance, you're still going to be 30 HP away from getting a KO here. You could play a Professor Kukui and not get a KO here. So just to be clear, we ain't playing Exploud for the main amount of damage. Now, doing 80 to the active is fine because it is a handy little bonus. But it is only a handy little bonus. What we really, really like is 30 damage to all your bench Pokemon with damage counters on. This will add up very quickly. We've already seen what Boswell can do, doing 30 damage to one bench Pokemon. Now let's go and imagine that you're doing 30 damage to all of the bench Pokemon. Now we are adding up, and there are several things we can do with this which are very good. So we've talked a little bit about Forbidden Shrine in the past couple of videos, and I have done a video on Forbidden Shrine itself. I'll try and remember to pop a link in the description. And Forbidden Shrine puts one damage counter on each Pokemon EX and GX between turns. One after your turn, one after their turn, etc. So that means that when you put this down, Okay, admittedly, you won't be able to put it down, damage them, and then use this attack straight away, but if you can get Forbidden Shrine down in the early game, then all the EXs and GXs are going to come into your turn with damage on. Even if they evolve into a Gardevoir right at the end of their turn, they'll take a damage counter after their turn, which means they've got damage on them to start your turn. So Forbidden Shrine will work nicely here, and you'll end up 10 damage after their turn, 30 damage with your attack, 10 damage after your turn, and this will add up very, very quickly indeed. So Forbidden Shrine, good use here. I mean, we talked about the Tapu Koko earlier. What you can do is in the early game, use Tapu Koko to do 20 for a double colorless to all your opponent's Pokemon. And then in the mid to late game, when you've actually got Exploud up and running, because let's face it, it's not going to be 1 or 2 turns here, then you can sit there and actually start using Exploud to do 30 more to all of them while doing 80 to the active. And I suppose at this point we should mention about the whole Exploud thing, and it is significantly better than Tapu Koko. Now don't get me wrong, right? Tapu Koko has got free retreat. Tapu Koko is a basic. Tapu Koko attacks for a double colorless energy. I get all of that, I genuinely do. But the thing is here, you're doing 80 to the active and 30 to each of the bench. That's a huge, huge difference. A huge difference. I mean, let's take something like Greninja GX, which I see as a really nice use for this. Frogadier puts 20 damage on your opponent's Pokemon, Greninja puts 30 when you evolve up. So your opponent's got a Grubbin on the bench, you go double Frogadier, then you attack with Exploud, it gets KO'd. Your opponent's got a Zorua on the bench, you drop down a Greninja to put 30 on it, attack with Exploud, it goes down. You hit the numbers so much more easily with Tapu Koko here, and that is absolutely amazing. So we've got Tapu Koko for getting the damage down. And we've got Forbidden Shrine for getting the damage down. And we've got Frogadier and Greninja for getting the damage down. My point is, we've got plenty of ways of getting this damage down. But one of my really nice ideas for this is Tapu Lele. Now, Tapu Lele's 2 energy, but you can just use a counter energy, so that's all good. As a side note, you can use counter energy for Exploud, but you can also use double colorless, so not 100% sure why you'd even really want to. So you've got Tapu Lele comes in here, and for 2 energy, you get to rearrange all the damage on your opponent's side of the board. And actually, we now know that Tapu Lele will be coming as a blister promo in the next set, or coming along with the next set. So actually, we're finally getting Tapu Lele. We're finally getting Tapu Lele. Took a long time, ladies and gentlemen, but we're finally getting Tapu Lele. Yay! Well, the psychic one, we've had the fairy one for a little while now. So the point is, if you've got your opponent's board with damage on all of them, you attack with Exploud, you put 180 damage on the field. And then in comes Tapu Lele, and you can take many, many prizes in one turn. Exploud is slow. It is a stage 2 that attacks for free energy. If it was for a double colorless, I'd like it a lot more. If it was a water so that you could use Aqua Patch, I'd like it a lot more. But none of this is the case. Sure, you've got a million different ways of accelerating energy, from Rayquaza all the way through to Vikavolt, but another stage 2 will be kind of awkward. But if you can get this up and running, you're dropping a huge amount of damage on the field, and then something like Tapu Lele will come and sweep. You could potentially here go 3, 4, 5 prizes down, and as long as you've got a couple attacks off of Exploud, you can potentially Tapu Lele here to just get 6 prizes in a single turn and win the game. It is awkward, it is slow, it is expensive, but there is potential here, and it makes me a little bit excited. The second attack, 4 energy, 100 damage, in no way makes me excited, especially given you're not hitting for weakness. It is absolute garbage. Essentially, right, you are adding another energy to do 20 more to the active, but given that you could be doing up to an extra 150 to the bench, no. No. Also, when I said doing 180, I of course meant doing 230, because you wouldn't be doing 30 to the active, you'd be doing 80. So if you've got your opponent's bench with damage counters on, you're actually doing 230 in a single turn. This has got to be worth having a bit of a test with. I'm giving it free Wassies. It's not a great card, but it's got a lot of potential. Free Wassie sounds about right. But maybe you don't think it sounds about right. Maybe you want to argue with me. Good news, there's a comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. And please do check out my Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee video. I covered them yesterday. I really want to be doing more kinds of those videos in this channel. So go on, give it a watch, tell your friends, support it, I'll be your friend. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.